Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Dawn of the Dead, the 2004 remake directed by Zack Snyder, and this is Zack Snyder's first feature film. And as far as the original 1978 movie goes, I have not seen that movie yet. Believe it or not, I just never got around to it. So I'll get to it one day, but for now, I'm going to be talking about this movie as a standalone film, and on its own, I think this movie is okay. There were some things that I thought were well done, and I thought it was a decent first feature film, especially for it being a remake. As far as remakes are considered, like, this isn't a terrible remake. And I do think the opening scene is pretty good, and it does a good job at getting you into the movie. It doesn't really waste a lot of time as far as getting to the zombies. First scene of the movie, the opening scene, zombies. Not immediately, just right there, zombies. But after a couple of minutes, developing the characters a little bit, then we get into the zombies. And it was just nice to see a movie where it's we get into the zombies right away instead of just patiently waiting for that to happen and nothing happening for who knows how long. And that was something that I appreciated about the movie. There was some fun violence in the movie that I enjoyed, and there were also some nice shots in the movie that, especially in the opening scene, they looked pretty nice. And there's some cool ideas that this movie had. Conceptually. Maybe they were done in the original movie and probably better, but on its own, I thought it was well done for what it was. And now I'm going to get into some of my issues with the movie, and one of my biggest issues with the movie is that our main character is just a big idiot, and she just makes the dumbest decisions ever, and I'm just how are you still alive? And it just doesn't make sense as to why she is alive at certain points. Not because of the situation that she's put in. Okay, there's no way you would have survived. It's just how can you be this stupid? And there was also some CG fire that looked kind of bad because there was no smoke and it was very distracting. And there were some unlikable characters in the movie that I also felt were unnecessary to the story. And once you get in the second half of the movie, that's where it kind of picks up for me, and I'm more interested in what's going on in the second half than the first half. Even though I think the first half of the movie is a bit more competent, the second half is a little sloppy, but a bit more engaging for me because things are actually happening. And the action in the movie in the second half is kind of bad, mostly because of how it's shot. It's just way too many close shots, and you can't really tell too well what's going on. Not that it's quick cuts, but it's just way too close. I can't see too well as to what I'm supposed to be looking at. It's just too close, can't deal with it. I wasn't a fan of the music in the movie, both on its own and how it was used in the movie. It was just really cheesy and just pulled me out of it every time. And I felt as though it did the film a disservice, unfortunately. And I really hated the look of the film. It just had this oversaturated look that I just couldn't get behind. Whenever it was in the daytime scenes, that's when it was okay for me. But once we get to scenes that are really dark, that I really hate, because it's just so dark, you can't really see anything. And just why? Just let me see what's going on. And I unfortunately was unable to. I was happy to know that this movie wasn't a 2-hour long zombie movie, because if it was 2 hours, then I might rate this movie a lot lower, and I would actually say it's bad, because if it was just dragging on forever, then I would have probably hated the movie. But luckily, it has a good pace to it. It doesn't waste a whole lot of time, even if not a whole lot happens consistently throughout the film. I didn't feel as though there was any scene that was unnecessary to the film, and there were some characters, even if I didn't like them, I could kind of understand the perspective of like characters who would have that mindset. It's just where I take issue with it is the portrayal of these characters that I felt could have been done better, like characters who are just looking out for themselves and just interested in keeping themselves alive, and even if they're not like super likable, you can understand why they have this perspective, like I said already. So overall, Dawn of the Dead, the first half is more competent, but it's not as entertaining as the second half, because that's where the stuff that I'm interested in story-wise starts to happen. But at the same time, it's kind of poorly shot and really cheesy in ways that I don't feel complements the tone of the film. And there were just some things that I wish could have been done better, and overall, I didn't regret watching it. I'm probably never going to watch this movie again, even though it wasn't terrible or boring necessarily. It just isn't a movie that I would ever consider coming back to. Maybe one day to compare it to the original when I do get around to seeing that, but as is, it's fine, passable. It is what it is. It's a zombie movie that, I guess, delivers on what it's trying to deliver on. So if this movie looks interesting to you, then check it out. If not, then skip it. So with all that being said, I'm going to give Dawn of the Dead from 2004 a 5 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos as always. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below you thought of Dawn of the Dead, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Air. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.